Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Ran in a moment. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt says violence will be met with violence. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us on this Monday, 800-848-9222. So I want to start with something a little different. I'll get to politics in a second. But Sophie Cunningham is my hero. She's my hero. She's the WNBA player that got into it with another player. And Sophie, all she did was extend her hand all the way out and point. And by her pointing, it's all over the internet, it drove the other player insane. So in other words, all Sophie did was throw some shade. She didn't say a word. She just pointed at the girl to let her know that she was not backing down. And apparently Sophie Cunningham is MAGA. And so all over the internet now you have photos of Sophie and other people, but Sophie and President Trump, with President Trump pointing in the camera and Sophie doing the right thing. And on one of the videos, you can't see it, obviously, folks, we're on the radio, as Donna Summer would say in her songs, but in one of the videos, you see President Trump pointing and you see Sophie Cunningham pointing as well. So, Carlos, I see you bopping back and forth there, you and Philippe in the control room. Folks, it's amazing what this young lady did. Standing up for Caitlin Clark. It's about time that somebody does it. Now, by the way, did I point out that Sophie, it happens to be white. The other player happens to be black. And boy, did Sophie get under her skin. So I want to share one of the emails that I just received. One of the emails that came in from the lovely Dara talking about Caitlin Clark. We're getting to Iran in just a second. I assure you of that. Dara says, Dominic, when I saw the video of that animal on Caitlin Clark's neck, I couldn't believe it. The attacker had arms like a professional football player. Dara, I thought exactly the same thing. Massive muscles, disgusting. Is she really a biological woman or one of those guys running around as a woman? Obviously taking steroids, Dara. So I thought the same thing. Dara. And so Sophie Cunningham is revealing what led to this, right? So she got into an argument. She was coming to Caitlin Clark's defense, and she got into an argument with a Dewana Bonner. Dewana, maybe that says all that needs to be said. I'm going to leave that alone. But the young lady's name is Dewana. Hey, Dewana. Is that a common name? I don't know. Is that a ethnic name? Is that or maybe I should say urban name. Okay, urban. Dewana. So she got into it with Sophie. Sophie got into it with Dewana, and the players are trying to pull them apart. And then you just see Sophie Cunningham point like in defiance. And the girl is livid trying to get to Sophie. And no offense, folks, Sophie is the little white girl. Even though she's kind of tall, she's not backing down. And Dewana is livid. So it's a movement that's all over the internet with Sophie Cunningham pointing. I'll come back to that. Hey, what do you do with a socialist mayor that was born in Uganda, and all of a sudden comments are starting to be made about him running for president? It's got to be a joke, right? Because they're talking about Mamdani, but it's not a joke. I want you folks to listen to the conversation on This Week.
I noticed that you're turning 35 soon, right?
In a few months, yes.
So you now hit one of the constitutional requirements to run for president. But there's another one that says you have to be a natural-born citizen. You were not born here.
Yes.
But do you think that's something that should be changed in the Constitution? It would take an amendment, but do you think that we should change that?
No.
Now,
I think the Constitution looks good the way it is.
Just the way it is.
Just the way it is. I'm very excited to focus on New York City. But thank you for reminding me of my upcoming
35
mortality.
years old. 35 years old. All right.
Yes, sir.
Folks, whenever I say that means I'm throwing shade because there's nothing positive to say. My grandmother raised me the right way. When you don't have something positive to say, just shut up. Mom Donnie, you running for president is almost like pretty boy governor of California, Gavin Newsom, running for president. Never's going to happen, and you can't do so based on the Constitution, Mom Donnie. And so the White House press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, just back recently from having her second child, Carolyn Levitt, as it relates to Iran. And folks, this situation seems to be escalating. The two countries, the U.S., Iran, set to meet tomorrow, says violence based on what happened this weekend between both countries will be met with violence.
Violence will be met with violence. As you mentioned, Brian, there were attacks on commercial vessels that the United States of America, directed by the president, responded to, and that will continue to happen, but we hope we don't see that. The president obviously wants to see the peace process play out, and the Iranians would be best to sign a good deal with the United States of America because the president has proven he's unafraid to use the might of our military. Look at Operation Midnight Hammer. Look at Operation Epic Fury. Either way, though, the United States of America wins. If the peace process plays, this MOU continues, gas prices will continue to tumble. We're seeing crude is lower than it was prior to the start of this excursion, as the president calls it. Or if Iran chooses to be a bad actor, they'll prove themselves to be the pariah of the Middle East. They've totally alienated themselves from their Gulf and Arab partners in the region. And the United States of America has the best and strongest military in the world. The president retains the right to use it.
So it's going to be interesting. I asked the same question I posed early this morning. What do you do with a country that they feel have nothing to lose? They're reckless, crazy. What do you do with a situation like that? And you've got to stop them. You don't have the option of just laying back, falling back. You've got to stop them from developing a nuclear weapon. What do you do in that situation? What I'm trying to say is anyone can come up with problems to a solution. I want to hear some answers. 800-848-9222. The phone lines are open right now. So we saw last week in New York a number of political novices beat traditional Democrats in races for the House. A couple of incumbents went down, Dan Goldman, Adriano Espaillat. And on Meet the Press, this is what's going to happen to Democrats all over the country. They're going to be asked, for example, in the race that Adriano Espaillat lost, a traditional Democrat, to this lady that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're going to face questions like this all the time.
Well, let's talk about one of those candidates who won on Tuesday, who describes herself as a socialist, and that's Darlisa Avila Chevalier. She's faced criticism now over deleted social media posts. I want you to take a listen to this attack ad from her former opponent.
Let's meet Darlisa in her own words.
Thank you, everyone.
She won't stand by Kamala Harris.
Okay, let's get to business.
She won't stand by Joe Biden. She even called him a rapist. She won't stand by veterans or the American flag. She stands with dividing us by race. Meet the real Darlisa, the one she tried to delete.
So to be clear, Senator, that was an attack ad from a fellow Democrat. You've talked about this bigger tent. If you're saying the Democratic Party needs a bigger tent, does that include someone who called a former Democratic president of the United States a rapist?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not super familiar with that race. All I'm saying is that this party has to have a real contest of ideas.
And so, again, that's Chris Murphy of Connecticut. And get used to those answers all over the country. You're going to hear Democrats say that. I'm not used to that race. I don't have the facts of that race. Because what do you say in terms of Adriano Espaillat going down and this lady that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs being elected, winning the primary? And we all know you win the primary in New York, you are an all all but the elected official. The general election becomes just a foregone conclusion. Sometimes things can happen that are drastic, but for the most part, she is going to Congress. 800-848-9222. Let's start with your telephone calls. Line 1, Mike in South Carolina. Mike, what's on your mind?
How you doing, Dominic? I hope you had a good Father's Day and everything. Just chilling now. I was up on Father's Day. I took a trip up north, and I was at pay my respects at the Holy Rood Cemetery in Westbury, and was up there a couple of days. And like the song, Dominic, see some old friends, good for the soul. And my son and daughter doing well, and I follow you on Facebook too. And your kids, your grandkids, oh, forget it. Well,
anyway. That's nice of you to say. So what's going on, Mike?
Well, 72 candles on the cake, and some friends are sending pictures of the grandkids. My daughter, she's a middle school teacher in Suffolk, and she's got 2 boys. My only 2 grandkids. One is.
I got it. It says here you want to talk about Mom Donnie.
Yeah, Mom Donnie, real quick, and I've been listening to you for years, and all these cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and some of these.
Mike, I love you. You got to get to the point, Mike. You're eating up valuable airtime.
Yes, I'm sorry. Mondami, I said it before. I'll reiterate and say it again. The 25th anniversary, please don't be around the site, because I knew 5 people who passed 9/11, and I volunteered 3 weeks after, a day I'll never forget. But, Dominic, keep doing what you're doing, and raise your glass, Dominic.
Thank you. Let's raise one together. Thank you very much. Let's go to John in North Carolina, line 3. John, what's on your mind?
Dominic, finally, first-time caller. Listen, I
Wonderful.
love you. I used to deliver beer back in the 70s and 80s, so I know where you come from and how you overcome. But last week, I think 2 points here. Last week, you were asking a question, what do you call these inner-city people? My one word is hood rats. But the reason why I called was because of the sand
that's
rats.
too easy, John. That's too easy, and it's kind of played out. I mean, I'm trying to come up with a name for like this WNBA player. They got into it with Sophie Cunningham. Her name is Dewana Bonner. So I'll ask you, is that a common name? I don't know any Dewanas. Do you know any?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. But when I came into the conversation, I just thought you were talking about all the crime and everything else that's going on in the inner cities. But the reason I called was basically you just asked about Iran. What do we do?
Right.
Well, they want nukes. Let's show them. Turn the place into an ashtray. Tired of this. With Trump and stuff, he's a taco now. I'm sorry, I love the guy, but listen, you're being played. You know the old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Dude.
Right, I hear you, John, but it's rather simplistic to just say blow up the whole country. That could start a very, very big issue in that region. John, thank you for the call. Folks, we see all your other calls. The number to reach me right now on this Monday, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And I'm looking at my Twitter, at my X, and Patty says this. So love going out to you, Patty. But your comment, unfortunately, confirms that most people don't understand the political process. And this comment is totally indicative of this. Patty says, at Dominic TV, so much time spent talking about the commies elected in Democrat primary. Can we know who's running against them in November? Highlight the good guys, please. Patty, therein lies the problem. I have to look and see who they're running against. But with love, that comment proves that you don't understand the political process. And most of these contests, you win the Democrat primary, game over. You're elected. The general election, if there's somebody running against you, if all they are is token opposition, it's going to be a blowout. Once you win the Democrat nomination, look at Mamdani for example. He won the primary, and it was very hard for him to lose the general election, and he went on to win. So, love going at you, Patty, but in most of these races, once you win the primary, Democrat primary in a city like New York, game over. Line 1, Christina, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Christina?
Oh, my God, Dominic, I am so happy to be on the line with you. I am obsessed. I think you are amazing.
Thank you. Wow. That's very nice of you to say, Christina.
I've never called a radio station before, and I just have to say I listen to you every day. I think that you are extremely intelligent. Your political wisdom is impressive, and I just love you. And I live so close to you, and I'm really upset that I missed you at the Ramsey ShopRite.
Oh, yes, I was there at the Ramsey ShopRite about a few weeks ago with my wife, Marilyn, and my son, Dominic. Christina, it's so nice of you to call. So before I let you go, what do you think about politics, Christina?
I agree with you across the board. Mamdani is nothing but trouble.
Nothing but trouble, yes.
Yep.
But, he's being asked about running for president. Right, no idea what's happening. What do you think of President Trump?
I voted for him 2 times, and I think he's doing a good job.
Fair enough, Christina. Hey, so I need you to sign this contract, and the contract goes like this. Do you promise to call in the future?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that, Christina, because I need that youthful energy in your voice. It just makes me feel a whole lot better. So you got to promise to call back. Agreed?
I will call you once a month like I'm allowed.
All right. You can call more than that, Christina. Thank you so much for the wonderful call, Christina in New Jersey. Let's go to Anthony, line 3 in New Jersey. Anthony, what's going on?
Dominic, I got the best nickname for that basketball player.
Okay, go ahead, because I'm 20 seconds from a break. Go ahead.
Call her a whistle pig, because that's what she is.
A whistle pig. Which one? The girl that's Dewana?
Tawana, yeah, that one.
Yeah, Dewana. Okay, a whistle pig. Okay, all right, okay. But I love what Sophie did. I love it, Anthony. Just so if I get these nut phone calls, even with social media recording, I'm just going to point. I'm going to point at the camera, which means leave me. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Republicans are going to make you the poster child for the Democratic Party.
Let them. We don't have to ask ourselves what life looks like if a socialist wins. I won last November, and over the course of these last 6 months, what we've delivered for working people are the very things we were told were impossible. We've delivered free childcare for 2-year-olds for the first time in New York City history. We've delivered tens of millions of dollars back to tenants who were taken advantage of by bad landlords. We've delivered 165,000 potholes being paved. And we've done all of these things while also delivering the lowest recorded crime in our city's history. That's what it looks like to have democratic socialism. And what you're seeing is that New Yorkers experienced this for 6 months and made the decision that they wanted to see more of it on the national stage as well.
Oh, come on, Mamdani. You can't believe what you're saying. Don't believe your ain't, Mamdani. Come on, guy. Oh, help us all. 800-848-9222. So I'm receiving a lot of emails right now. I'm looking at one from Carolyn. And no, Carolyn, I did not know this. Carolyn titles her email, I'm about to get to the Republican nominee for governor of New York State, Bruce Blakeman, in just a moment. Speaking yesterday with the owner of this network, John Catsimatidis. We'll get to that in just a second. With Blakeman declaring if you want to stop all this socialism in New York State, he's the guy in the race for governor against Kathy Hochul. But this email from Carolyn is titled Dewana Bonner. And Carolyn says, "Hi, Dominic. It sounds like you don't know that Dewana Bonner is Alyssa Thomas' fiance. That's probably why Cunningham focused on her. So, Carolyn, no, I don't really follow the politics of lesbian relationships. And so if this is accurate, right, so Alyssa Thomas is the well-built young lady that looks like a linebacker for the New York Jets. She's got arms bigger than mine. She's the one that put her hand on the throat of Caitlin Clark. And according to this email from Carolyn, Dewana Bonner, who got into it with, this is all WN related, with Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham put her finger out, arm extended to point at Dewana. What a lovely name. Dewana. Anyway, I hope you can sense the sarcasm here. And so Sophie puts her hand out, and it drove Dewana Bonner insane. But boy, did Sophie Cunningham establish herself. We'll come back to that in just a second. Carolyn, thank you for the great email. We're going back to your telephone calls in a moment. 800-848-9222. We see all the calls. So we'll get back to the politics thing in just a second. But New York State, the race for governor, appearing on the show of the owner of this network, John Catsimatidis, happened to be the Republican candidate for governor of New York, Bruce Blakeman. And I want you to listen to part of the conversation they had.
We need common sense to prevail, Bruce Blakeman. And it seems like bad decisions are made by the state legislature and the state senate and the state assembly. And we're worried. We're worried about keeping our headquarters in New York.
Absolutely, John. Listen, the only way to save this state is to support my campaign this year. Because the left-wing lunatics, I'm not talking about liberals. Liberals love America. They just have a different philosophy than you and I do. But they're not bad people. I'm talking about the Zohran Mamdani wing of the Democratic Party. These people hate America. They're a danger to our state. They're a danger to our country, and they got to be stopped.
Understood. Now, the last week, three Democratic socialists beat out three Democratic moderates. So you might have three more Congress people with socialist philosophies in Congress. And that's not going to help New York.
No, it's not going to help New York because, as Winston Churchill said, communism, socialism, it's nothing more than shared misery. And that's what we have now under Kathy Hochul and Zohran Mamdani. They want to make everybody miserable so they don't know the difference between being happy and being miserable. I want to make people happy again, cut their taxes, cut their utility rates, make safer communities. Isn't that what a government official is supposed to do? And these socialists, they hate America. Everything they say is anti-American. Well, you know what? If you don't like America, get out. Go live someplace else. You're not improving people's lives here in America. You're trying to destroy them with a system of economic and governmental structure that has been a failure every place it's ever been tried.
And so that's one of the reasons why I say Blakeman is no joke in this race. This guy has a shot. New York is overwhelmingly Democrat, but he has a shot. He has a shot. As a matter of fact, he has a better shot than Pataki did. And Pataki went on to become a Republican governor of New York State. I'm looking at a clip online, right, to show you what's happening in Mamdani's New York with socialists, in which police trying to respond to an emergency, these nuts, anarchy community, blocked police vehicles so they couldn't get across with their bicycles. You had to have police officers, community affairs, come and remove them, which took like an additional 10 minutes for authorities to respond to the location. It's horrible, some of the things that's going on, some of the things that's tolerated. We see all of your telephone calls. I'm going to get to them in just a second. But again, I am in love with Sophie Cunningham. Yes, because she's gorgeous, but also because she stood up to the, what's the best way I can say this? She stood up to the urban wing of the WNBA. Okay, let me try it another way. She stood up to the thug sisters in the NBA that think they're dudes. That's the best way to say it. She got into it with another player, and apparently Carolyn said that's the fiance. I don't get into all of that, the gay relationships and who's engaged to who, whatever, above my pay grade. But Sophie Cunningham pointed at the other player with her finger fully extended and just pointed at her and wouldn't put her arm down for 20 seconds. And it drove Dewana Bonner insane.
I was just kind of pointing, and she's like, don't you point at me. And I was like, oh, shouldn't have said that. And I didn't say a word.
She didn't say a word. She just pointed. And this girl went batty. As for Caitlin Clark, right? Listen to part of this interview on CNN.
Caitlin Clark, one of the WNBA's biggest stars, is once again in the headlines after becoming the target of another flagrant foul. The latest on-court incident happened on Wednesday when the Indiana Fever guard fell to the floor while driving to the basket. You could see as players scrambled for the ball. Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas thrusted her fist into Clark's neck. No foul was called on the play, but the league reviewed it, and they slapped Thomas with a flagrant foul and a one-game suspension. This is only the latest example of one of the league's biggest stars bearing the brunt of what critics say are cheap shots by her fellow players. CNN sports analyst Christine Brennan is among those outraged by the way that Clark has been treated. She's the author of the book On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports. And you wrote an op-ed describing the kind of treatment that she has faced. Just walk us through your reaction to the incident. Why do you think she's being targeted this way?
It's really mind-boggling, Boris. I know, by the way, she can give it as good as she can take it. You know, she is a tough person. It's an unauthorized biography. She doesn't need me or anyone else to defend her. What we're talking about here is way beyond the pale. Caitlin Clark has never put her fist in someone's throat. She has never kneed someone's groin, which also happened with Alyssa Thomas just a second before the fist.
And so you hear it there from the woman that wrote the book, right? Way beyond the pale in terms of what's happening. And the reason why I'm playing this so big, because this is racial politics. This is what's wrong in America. This is part of the Black Lives Matter with these thug women that want to be men of the WNBA. Why do they have to look so hard? Why do their arms have to be so big? Why do they look like dudes? I'm sorry. Why can't you look like Sophie Cunningham? That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Look like Caitlin Clark. Look, do something. Make up. 800-848-9222. I want you to hear, before we go back to all your telephone calls here, Charles Barkley defending Caitlin Collins.
Ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here? And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. But these ladies, who I love and respect their game, they couldn't have this thing up any worse. There's been so much negativity, and a lot of it is just petty jealousness.
And it's petty jealousness directed at Caitlin Clark's way. She can't respond because she is white. It's that simple. And if she responds, you're a pampered white girl. Black people can't have anything. That's the way the argument will go. Let's go to David in Westchester, line 3. What's on your mind, David?
Hey, Dominic. Great show as always. First-time caller.
Wonderful.
Just to keep it light, when is this cheap Indiana team gonna hire an enforcer, like the NHL teams used to do?
Right. And the enforcer, for folks that don't know sports, you don't have to have much talent, but when it's time to fight, after you go after the star player, Caitlin Clark, if you touch her, here comes the enforcer. Correct, David?
It's on. Yeah, absolutely, Dominic.
And I think Sophie Cunningham is trying to do that. And I have a lot of respect for her, folks. I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it. Dominic says it. So you have Sophie Cunningham, another white player, and she's standing up to these women. I don't want to get suspended. She's standing up to these women that want to be dudes. Okay. And it is what it is. Thank you for the call, David. Let's see here. Let's go to, let's get a call on Iran here. Let's go to John in Minnesota. John, line 4. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is I'm running out of patience with the president. Iran is playing him, and President Trump is playing the rest of us by suggesting that there's any kind of a meaningful peace plan ahead. This memorandum of understanding is simply a document that suggests they're going to just keep on talking. He needs John, anybody can talk all day long about the problem. What is the solution? For one thing, he's got to, if he's not going to meet his language with action, he should stop. Remember, he was going to end their civilization.
No, John. I'm going to say again, anybody can point out the problems. What's the solution?
Take out their power plants and bridges like he said he was going to do, and then give them an ultimatum. Here's what we have to have. We're going to take out another power station every 2 or 3 days. When you want to talk, when you want to agree to this, let us know and we'll talk about what you want. He's reacting to high gas prices.
My bet is 1,000% on Team Trump. He's always playing chess, not checkers. He's going to get the job done. Thank you, John. Line 3, Alex in Greenwich, Connecticut. Alex, what's going on?
Hi, Dominic. First and foremost, we love you. The entire family loves you.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
Yes, I'm born and bred in this country, but I have Middle Eastern descent. I have family in Israel, blah, 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 blah. This whole situation with U.S. versus Iran is not going to work. We have a great president who's an awesome negotiator. Awesome. These people, 3 months ago, killed 42,000 of their own people in cold blood.
We all know that, Alex. What's the solution?
The solution is we have to take possession of the Strait of Hormuz. We have to eliminate them from getting any chance of getting a nuclear weapon. That is the most important. We love Donald Trump. He's doing a great job. If they have a nuclear weapon, we're all screwed. But one thing they are aware of is that Israel has 200 nuclear warheads. This is why they're kind of backing off. They're not going to mess around with Trump or the Israelis. This is the only way to do it. In that neighborhood, you have to fight fire with fire.
I hear you. Alex, I hear you. I stayed late on this call because you're a first-time caller to the program. Thank you for the wonderful call. I hope to hear from you in the very near future. We're taking your calls, folks, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Luigi Mangione gets stuck in the courthouse elevator before the judge has delayed the trial until next year in 2027. He's such a coward. You're such a big guy. All the ladies want you and so on, Mr. Luigi Mangione. Well, you killed that man, Brian Thompson, allegedly in cold blood, the CEO, healthcare CEO. But now you wanna cop out and claim the psych defense. Man up. You're a tough guy, right? So deal with it. You want to kill somebody, deal with it straight up. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go to George, line 4, Long Island. George, what's going on?
Yeah, hi, Dominic. We had a good Father's Day. I'll get to the point. My buddies, retired court clerks from both, one from Albany, one from Syracuse. They have Democratic mayors now, and they're saying, and they're Republicans, they're saying they think Blakeman has a real hard test to win because, you know Syracuse, you went to school there, and
yes.
She's from Buffalo. And I mean, I'm wishing, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think he has much of a chance to win. Unlike Donnie got all those votes out. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know what your comment is back to me.
Well, George, the fact of the matter is, and this is the point I try consistently making, any Republican running in the state of New York, it's a blue state. So the day that you announce, you're facing an uphill, almost impossible challenge. And this is why I say, if you want to help the guy, donate some money. Because the fact of the matter is, he doesn't have any TV commercials because he's got he's running, all candidates are running a marathon. Generally, they can't advertise until after Labor Day because even though Governor Hochul has enough money in her war chest where she's done that, when she was in trouble, George, during the campaign, they brought in every national Democrat from around the country to get her over the finish line. And that's exactly what happened. Thank you for the call. So I would agree Blakeman is in a tough position, but I am telling you, I have been doing this a long time. He's got the goods. He's got the personality. He's got the look. If anybody, he can get into minority communities. Many Republican candidates cannot. In this city, in this state, minority voters will at least listen to him. Doesn't mean they'll change their mind, but they will listen to him. Let's go to Joseph, line 3, New Jersey. What's going on, Joseph?
Hey, Dominic, can you hear me good?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, the Caitlin Clark thing. All right. A lot of these women are very big, strong, black lesbian women, and they're so jealous of Caitlin Clark to be a pretty white girl who's better at their game. Angel Reese roughed her up and hit her too hard last time, and Charles Barkley made an excuse he had a hard life. Just because you have a hard life doesn't mean you should beat on a white girl for no reason, because she's better than you. These women are jealous. They're extremely jealous, and they're probably lesbians, and they just can't take it. And it's got to stop. I don't know what to do, but something's got to be done. This girl's a nice girl, a good player. So that's all I want to say.
Well, Joseph, I got to tell you, 100%, I strongly disagree with you, 100%, because you're 1,000% accurate, not 100%, 1,000%. Everything Joseph just said is completely accurate. Let's go to Larry, line 2, Staten Island. Larry, what's happening? You got 30 seconds.
Dominic, quick solution to the situation in Iran. We have 2 naval battle groups there. It's time that we bring those both groups into the Strait and take total control of that Strait of Hormuz. We got 800 ships we're going to get through there, and it's really hurting the world's economy. So let's do it, or take the baseball.
Yeah, and then are you ready for the repercussions that comes behind that? That's the question. Thank you for the call, Larry. America's heroes need your help now. Do good in their honor by donating $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. the number 2, T.org. I am back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?